Hello, people. Mina subscribed. Yay! Exclamation point hype in the chat for the subscription. Mina, thank you very much. Tier 1. 16 months. Well, hi there. Congratulations and thank you very much. So, welcome back to another Vampire Masquerade. We are up to, which I didn't put in the title, Session 6. I believe this is... Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm bound to be, because I'm not taking any notice of this stuff.
My word, I typed each one with the heading, it is Session 6.
Cool. Let's update the title, because that was something I forgot to put in there. Session 6 of Vampire the Masquerade. Obviously, we left off, not really a cliffhanger last week, but a bit of a moment, which we'll be picking up this week, of course. Wednesday night went very well with the Curse of Strahd, so hopefully we'll be definitely seeing some interesting turn of events next week with that, because that'll be a little bit of an interesting RP with Zadriel and the crew. And lots of D&D stuff throughout the week, some Foundry, some map making. I've purchased another map making program. I spent a couple hours on it the other day and it just boggled my mind completely and gave me a headache. So it's way more involved than Incarnate, but like Incarnate's going to be great for the world stuff, like for doing world stuff. This one's going to be awesome for for battle maps. It's just going to take a lot to get my head around. But I think I installed about 5,000 assets the other day. So it's going to be fun playing around with it, to say the least. And that'll be all leading, hopefully sorting things out for Paradigm 2, which we're getting close to. We're not getting close to, we're getting closer to. I was just talking to Baz yesterday at our home game. We're at Session 6 here now, around Session 10 to 12, depending on story. We're going to take a break from Vampire the Masquerade and we're going to run the Paradigm one-shot at some point. So within the next 5 or 6 weeks. Keep an eye out for that. So we'll be reintroducing you to characters such as Het and Ildri, Sadiq, Elishandris, and Amaris for the one-shot. Going back to the 10 years after the events of the demise of Kosas. And obviously Paradigm 2 is set 100 years after that. So it'll be in the same world, but it'll be somewhat different. But since it's Vampire Evening, we should hand over to our storyteller and recap Session 5 of Vampire the Masquerade, Blood and Belief.
Cool. Right, just getting my Skype together because it's been a dick. So last time, the rain had begun to fall with all of you either on a rooftop or headed to the rooftop or watching the rooftop from the safety of the Hounds Haven. Aaron had tried to stake Jenny as Jackson warned off the impending onlookers, but some ominous red dots on the chest made Jackson charge. And both Jenny and Aaron, he knocked them off the rooftop with some minor damage being taken. Echo and Sarah reaching the roof, seeing that the others had fallen off or just watching what had happened, they then too had red dots on them and had to escape. Echo drifted into shadows and Sarah diving to the ground. Everyone retreated and let their teams do the cleanup or sort out leftovers. Retrieval of a weapon, discovery of vandalized motorcycle, and a few other errands began before they all headed back to the safe haven. Zane gave Sarah the address to the haven, the Hounds safe haven, and he took a stern talking to, though he sent her on a roundabout way of getting there, which led to another stern talking to. Pip discovered that one of Billy's books was hiding some information, and he was quite displeased with the vandalism of this particular book. Him and Zane were able to see Billy and Jenny in action, with some anarch neonates and some thin blood druggies off this USB drive, however. Jackson delivered Jenny to his own haven and locked her away in the most secure place he had, before heading to the Hound's safe house. A few phone calls on the way, with the sheriff and Jackson and Sarah trying to figure out where everyone stands. And soon they were all in the same place discussing what to do next and who was going to do what. Zane was eventually berated by almost everyone about giving away the safe haven, and his computer was bashed around a little while Pip called out, confusing most about the book he had been looking up. And lastly, Sarah left, and which put the group alone, well, to contemplate their next moves. They were figuring out what to do when the sheriff called. He called Jackson, revealing that there had been another attack yet again on the prince whilst leaving Elysium, which most of you would know Elysium is under the ballroom you attended the previous night. He frantically told you all where to meet, and then there were some plan changes and Jackson suggested his place instead. The Sheriff Marco agreed, and it left you with 2 hours of that night. Pip was about to will himself a premonition of the whereabouts of one Billy, as the rest of you look on. So here, once again, we find ourselves, second night in Melbourne. As Pip, what are you doing as you try and force this premonition on yourself?
So Pip's standing there in the middle of the room and he's thinking really hard about how Billy got away and like getting the stuff out of Billy's leg, and he's like closing his eyes really tight because he thinks that's going to help. And sort of thinking the name over and over in his head.
Okay. Pip, I need you to roll Resolve and Auspex for me, please.
I take it we're seeing all this?
You guys are standing there watching this, yeah?
Okay.
Or standing, sitting, whichever you prefer. If you remember rightly, the conversation, Pip had just asked Echo what she thought he should do, and I think you guys are all standing in the same room.
So that's 2 successes.
2 successes. Try as you might, you're struggling to get any vision at all. You open your eyes back up and everyone sort of looks, waiting for an answer. What do you say?
It's not working. I can't... Is there like an on button for this?
Pip, suddenly you fall down onto the ground. You guys all watch him straight back. Bang!
Whoa.
Pip,
I think he broke himself.
Pip, you suddenly are drawn to a vision of Billy sitting in a wooden chair. It's like a bench seat. It's very hard to tell. The outside of your vision is hazy. You're almost looking through like a telescope that has kaleidoscope edges. This bench he sits on, it's dark wooden. It's stained bench seat. It's a long bench seat as you can sort of pan back in your vision. Organ music can be heard. The rest of you just see his eyes flicking, open, close, while he's on the ground. His eyes are rolled back in his head.
Is he convulsing at all? Or just...
Yeah, he looks like he's having a seizure.
I rush to Pip and tilt him up.
Yeah, I'd gotta go down.
Cradle him.
To see if there's anything I can do. So, is this normal? Ego? I mean...
I'm just holding him up. I don't know. Zane, is this normal?
I think he's broken.
Right.
I don't know. He's broken.
Just we'll keep him propped up until he comes to.
Right. Pip, you open your eyes and Echo is sort of propping you up. Jackson and the others on looking.
Right, so that's it then.
Oh, you okay?
Yeah.
See, told you, broken.
Wow.
Did you get all that?
No, you. Well, I mean, I don't see what you see.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Get what, dude?
Billy's
you were lying on the floor.
Billy. It's
You
a
see
bench, wooden bench,
like a.
or an organ. Sounds like maybe a church. Vampires wouldn't be in the church. That's weird.
Old wives tale, mate. Yeah, don't believe everything you read. No offense, Echo. I mean.
Did you see any stained glass, kind of something that we could know what kind of church, or?
It's just the bench and the organ music.
Zane, is that thing of yours working? Did you fix it?
I mean, his brain.
Well, no, the other thing. The computer, is that working? I mean, we know his brain's broken. Come on.
Give me 15 minutes, I'll get something going.
There may be a list of
No
all
touch.
the list of all
No
the churches in the area. I mean, there's probably going to be a few, but you start.
And with that, I pull
Churches
out
with organs.
a tablet and do a Google search.
Yeah, so Melbourne's churches, or you're doing Australia's churches.
Just Melbourne. Just in the area.
That's
But
gonna
narrowing
be
the
bad.
search down to ones with pipe organs.
Okay.
Um,
Every Catholic and Apostolic church in Melbourne comes up,
Yeah, I
And
kind
that-
of figured.
as well as a bunch of others that aren't those specific religions. However, they a lot of them have organs or old school organs they may not use anymore. Some of them still use them. Church organs come in many different varieties. Even an electronic keyboard has organ sounds. So your hits are, it's too wide of a, at this point, I mean, there's hundreds.
Well, so we got a meeting tomorrow night with the prince and the
Do I
sheriff.
have to go? Do I have to go? I don't want to go.
Shut up, Zane. I'll get to you. Our friend Tim, in air quotes, is going to be there. The sheriff requests that obviously Jenny be there and Billy be there.
Who's going to tell him? I'm not.
I can tell him I did it.
Tell him what, Zane?
She lost Billy.
I didn't lose Billy. Without doing what we did, we uncovered more stuff. Wording. I think, yeah.
Yeah, the way I
We
see it,
accomplished more.
calculated risk.
Okay, I'll go hide in my box again.
So,
Question is, do we know if Billy was actually involved in the second attack?
don't know we're knowing that until we get some more details. I'm assuming possibly, but as to this new vision, we're not entirely sure.
Are there churches near the club?
Yeah, actually, Zane, what's the closest church to Elysium?
Google.
I'll
while
have
he's
to Google
doing-
that.
Yeah, while he's doing that,
Things that shit.
yeah, while he's doing that, Jackson just turns and says, well, I'm not overly interested in lying to the prince because that will just end badly for all of us. He's going to be pissed. That much is clear. But we have all of this, and he'll point to the paperwork strewn across the table.
There's also one more thing that I'd like to, I don't know if it's the truth or not, but it seems awfully suspicious that Sarah chick was trying to meet up with the guy that was going to try to kill the prince the night after.
I'm still not convinced Billy's an assassin or anyone else. I think something deeper is going on here.
Yeah, but
I think
there's that, and
I think Billy's a patsy, to be honest.
Mind control?
maybe. But at the same time, then the next night, when they're moving the prince to one of her safe houses,
Yeah.
he gets hit again.
All questions that need to be answered, 100%.
Are we sure that this isn't like some internal dispute that's kind of just gone fucking nuts?
We're not.
I said we have a lot of questions still. I mean, we all know where your loyalties lie, Aaron.
Not with your prince, but
Exactly, which is a concern to me a little, why you're involved in this in the first place, to be fair. So, ultimately, we need to find out exactly what's going on here. And if it is internal, then we need to address a few other things. But we've been throwing this together. the 5 of us barely know each other. I've worked with Aaron a couple of times. Hired muscle, essentially. Don't really know much about you. I know as much about Echo through reputation, who she is. Obviously don't know anything about Pip, apart from what information I've been given from Marco. Concern at the very least. Zane, it's a whole different story. I mean, I think we all know Zane in one form or another. But Zane, I'm sorry, don't fucking like you, I never will. But you have a set of skills, which we need. So we need to come together and be on the same page at some point. If not to find out what's happening, to save our own fucking skin.
Zane, your computer, as he's talking, it kicks into life. You've managed to revive it. It's back to standard. You don't seem to have much information as far as what you had on it, but you've got it running.
So, guess what I'm basically saying here is maybe some quick introductions on what we bring to this party. We head out. Obviously, I don't think we're going to find Billy tonight, even if Zane can. I mean, we can go check out this church, closest church, and maybe nothing, might be something. But we need to be prepared for tomorrow, very least. So, most of you know who I am and what I do. Obviously, I have access to weapons, a very secure haven, and I have contacts on both sides of the law, which I think will help us in this situation. Zane, obviously, with his knowledge of technology, is going to be invaluable, much as I don't like him.
Zane, you're able to Google a church. Elysium is pretty much backs onto the Northcote Cemetery, and there's a church right on that same block.
We'd probably know that, wouldn't we?
You would.
Yeah. So, Echo, apart from obviously your vast knowledge of us and our kind, what else can you bring?
First off, have you checked this haven for security as far as Camarilla listening to us?
I'm
Perhaps
assuming Zane would have been onto that when you first got here. Zane?
Zane, did you go around and check to see if maybe this place would be bugged? Because some of this stuff, if there is an inner circle problem, we might do well to...
Give me a sec. Rummage through his bag. Pulls out a small device.
What does the small device say?
A RF jammer.
All right.
All right. Is
And
it on?
Yeah, it's on.
What's the range on that thing?
Which means now his cameras have just gone offline too.
I was about to say every
Yes.
camera and audio in the building that you have put up is now jammed.
Yes. I get that.
Okay, just so you're aware. Good call.
I like to sit and observe from the shadows everything going on. I like to watch and wait and take my time. And I'm not too sure that the Camarilla is in any of our best interests, not to Jackson's gifts with security or Zane's gifts with technology and Pip's new. I mean, if all this trouble's going on, do we really want to put all our eggs in this basket? Because I think we might be the patsies. That's what I'm thinking.
It's another concern of mine.
I do know Aaron, but it's been decades. And I know Zane. So that's pretty much it for me.
In saying that, I sense a little dissension between you two, nodding toward Darren and Echo. Is this going to be a problem?
Not at all.
Do I believe either of them at this point?
Let's just say that we knew each other before someone got embraced and disappeared.
Right.
If you are wanting to look deeper into what they're saying, you will have to make a...
No, I'd leave it at that.
Yeah. Sweet.
I think I can glean enough from that last comment to satisfy my curiosities for now.
Good as gold.
And then Jackson will turn to Pip. I'm going to walk directly up to him. How Pip reacts to that will be up to him, but it's not aggressive. But Jackson is that way inclined. Anyway, has that kind of stance, that sort of a passive-aggressive kind of looking stance as usual. Anyway. Now, Pip.
Hey, Mr. Spencer, what can I do for you?
You realise the gravity of this whole situation, yeah? You understand.
It's a
you
fucking
understand.
mess.
You understand what's at stake here.
Maybe.
Be honest.
Maybe not fully.
So, I mean, you
I
understand.
mean, that Prince guy was scary.
Yeah, well, you understand what you are and what we are.
Yeah.
You understand that cannot get out, that it is secret. It's something we have to hide
Yeah, the
in
Masquerade.
order to survive.
The sheriff told me.
Did he tell you everything about the Masquerade?
I don't know if it was everything.
He told you about the mysteries, yeah?
Yeah,
The rules.
lots of rules.
And
See, I was a librarian. I don't know if you know this, but I was a...
Yeah.
And then she came.
She?
And it all went wrong from there, but the sheriff, he helped me.
Right, yes, of course. Probably not a good idea to really speak that openly. Keep that to yourself for now.
Okay.
So, the sheriff has asked me to help you as best I can. I don't know that I'm the best teacher. Definitely not. I'm not of your clan. Not like you. But you're different to us. Or most of us. Just remember, in certain situations, it pays to keep one's mouth shut. Until you're sure of what needs to be said. And with that, he shoots a rather heated glance at Zane.
See, he doesn't like you.
And I just put my hand on Pip's shoulder and just give it a gentle squeeze. And turn around and turn my attention to the bag on the floor that I threw on the floor when I came in. And pick it up and throw it on the table. And then turn around and just look at Aaron and go, I know you know how to use one of these. And out of the bag, I throw you a cut down shotgun, a sawn off shotgun, and a box of shells. Be a box of 24 shells. On the box, I'd say you'd probably have some understanding of weaponry. Dragon's Breath rounds, incendiary rounds for the shotgun. Holds 6 rounds, but it'd be ideal to fit in a saddlebag on a bike or somewhere on the bike. It'd be easily concealed. Echo, you know how to use a firearm. I'm assuming you would.
Yes, I do.
Which would you prefer?
Something small.
So I hand her a Glock pistol, 9mm. and a box of shells. It's loaded. It's on safe. Again,
How many shells?
in a box it would be 9mm 50.
Righto.
And again, incendiary rounds. Pip, have you ever fired a weapon before? Pistol, shotgun, anything
No.
of that?
Does it come with a book?
I'll hold on to these for now, but remind
Wait,
me.
I had some of Billy's books.
Remind me tomorrow night after this meeting. I think you and I need to go do a little training. If you
Oh,
will.
I saw a video like that a little while ago.
Yeah. We can get there. I mean, read Billy's books. In the meantime, you might learn a thing or two, but a bit of practical knowledge won't hurt either. Now, Zane, please tell me that you've used a weapon before, at least a handgun.
Give me a sec. I will swear. I got this
And what is it?
taser.
Is it like the police style taser, the one that you fire, or just a stun gun,
Yeah.
just a handheld stun gun?
No, one that you fire,
Okay.
slightly modified, puts a little bit more juice out.
Close enough. And I'll hand him a pistol as well, same make and model, Glock pistol, 9mm, and a box of rounds. And I tell him, look, it's loaded, it's on safe. Do you know how to use it, or do I need to show you?
I pick it up with 2 fingers at the butt of it going,
And I point at the barrel and say, that's the end you point at someone.
oh, okay,
This is the safety, it is on safe, you will not be able to fire it unless it's off.
okay.
Point and pull the trigger, just like the taser.
Jackson, did you actually give Pip a weapon?
No, I did not.
You just told him about it, okay.
I told him that I would spend some time with him.
Yeah, but you didn't hand one over, so yeah.
Did not hand him one over, no, not at this point. I myself have on my person 2 .45 caliber pistols with 4 or 5 magazines with incendiary rounds as well. But the bag also has a copious amount of other. There's a couple of semi-automatic light machine guns, as in like UMP style. There's another shotgun in there, and my broken down long rifle was in there also, along with ammunition.
Yep, noted. Good as gold. So, with this ammunition and weapons around Aaron, you're looking. Well, you've been fairly quiet through all of this. What are you thinking, or what? Is there anything you'd like to say or do at this point?
No, I'm just.
You're happy looking at the weapons.
I'm looking at the weapons, going, I'm in the wrong work. If I wanted to,
Did you say that or think it?
No, I'm just thinking to myself, just like, the things I could do with all this.
Jackson.
Kind of a little smile starting to build on my face as well.
I'll probably notice a smile because I dare say he's probably still got the shotgun in his hand.
It's like Schwarzenegger when he
Probably
opens
caressing it,
Terminator
yeah.
when he opens that weapon case.
Yeah. With that, Jackson will turn to him and say, I got some more in here if you want to have a look.
No, this is good. I've got my dagger. Now I got this little boy, which I hope the cops don't catch me with, because yeah, it's hard to go through prison again as one of us.
Yeah, not fun times. Well, depends.
Yeah, well, it'd be interesting to get
Yeah.
locked up again.
So, Zane, church next to Elysium. Does anyone feel like a quick drive before we end this evening? Just to be
do we have
sure.
a quiet way to get there?
Yeah, not in my car. My car's way too loud for that.
So you guys are an hour and a half. Like you spent about half an hour going through all this. You guys are an hour and a half off daybreak. You probably won't have enough time.
Not enough time?
You'll get there, but then the sun's going to be coming up pretty quick. You're going to need whatever you need to do. You guys are going to have to do it.
How long would it take to get from that church to my haven in William Street? would we get there in time?
So it's about a 40-minute trip to get there, and then to your haven it's about another 15 to 20.
So if we went to the church, did a quick investigation, we'd get to my haven before sunup?
Yes, you could if you were all wishing to do that. It's up to you.
I would suggest it.
I have to eat, so I need to probably part from you guys and go do that. And I guess we're assuming we're resting here, or are we meeting at your haven, Jackson?
Won't be meeting at my haven directly. I'll give you all an address, which is a couple of buildings over, but we're meeting there tomorrow night with Prince and Marco and the Coterie. And I'll lead you into the bowels of the haven, basically. Secret entrance.
The thing is, if it's getting so close to daytime, I really don't think you'd still be there.
I mean, how accurate are your visions, Zane? Pip, do you know whether that was happening now, or it was earlier?
Or is that
later?
tomorrow, or was that yesterday, or?
Yeah, I don't know how this works, man. I mean, I'm kind of fascinated, but kind of creeped out all at the same time.
It felt like now.
Yeah, Pip, the visions you've had so far, and you've only had a couple, they all feel like the now. So yes, you are correct.
So, I mean, if it is now, would he stay there? Maybe spend the night?
Look, this place, the church, is there soil nearby?
Yeah, well, there's a graveyard.
You would know there's a park and a cemetery all within stone's throw.
I'll go, because I don't need to be in a haven to sleep. I just need some dirt. I can.
You want to go check it out? If he's there, don't.
If he's there, I'll
can
send you a text.
If you can get him and torpor him, then do it. But only if you know you can. If there's any reason you think you can't, just don't.
Valiant note for that. I've been reading about staking people. We're doing it way too easily, so just bear in mind it's not that easy.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
Okay, so how exactly would we go about torturing someone? Storyteller.
Because we would know, obviously.
Yeah. It's how you did Billy originally works. If they're restrained, it takes the test like we did the other day. But it's generally if they're not, like in Jenny's case, she wasn't restrained enough in the respect that we torped her probably a little too easy. It's a test, and it's very, very high numbers on that test to put a stake through someone's heart who's actually trying to resist it, especially another kindred.
Okay. What would happen if we put, say, a crossbow bolt through their heart?
Yep, you can. So same thing. It'd be
lodged,
like a weapon skill check. It would have to lodge, but same thing. It's anytime you're trying to put it through their heart, it's a higher difficulty rating. But it's doable. It's not not doable. It's definitely.
How
doable.
about this? How about we just leave it for now and make our priority Billy tomorrow night after this meeting. We've got Jenny.
Look, I can go there and
check it out. Follow him if you
check it out. And if he's there, I'll send you the message. But speaking of that,
don't
Zane,
do anything.
Do you have a secure way for us to talk to each other without?
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Yeah, so we can actually talk to each other and not have to hide words.
Yeah, we need to get we need burner phones.
With that, I rummage through my bag again and pull out 5 phones.
Sweet, and you did mention to me you'd pull burner phones, so that's good. You've definitely got them.
They have all been marked in a way that each phone will connect to these phones, no other phone.
Are these not on the network? They're just connected to each other?
They're connected to each other. They piggyback off the network and bounce back.
Right.
So they use cell tower network, but only talk to each other?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to take one of those.
Everyone take one. with your into technology night, we need to keep in contact with each other. So
And
please keep it on you when we're separated. Switch your other phones off if you have to.
these have automatic tracking as well.
For us,
Okay.
hopefully. Not for
Noting
anyone
that.
else.
No one else. I have one phone. It controls all. No,
Right.
kidding.
I want that phone then.
Zane,
Alright.
you've still got your jammer running too, so they won't be able to do anything with the phones until the
Echo,
jammers.
you're looking a little twitchy. I suggest you take off and do what you need to do.
Yeah.
I give her a piece of paper with the address of the building on. Say meet us here, around the back of the building tomorrow night.
All right.
Watch out for glue sniffers.
I will. You too. Put on my gloves and go.
Sweet. So with Echo out the door, are the rest of you all going together, or you're staying here together? What's the plan?
No, I think I'll go with Aaron because I'm keen to see if Billy's there, and I know I can get to my haven in time. So I'd say to Pip and Zane, stay here. If you notice anyone hanging around, like around the back, don't panic. And I've got some guys here. Like, considering this place has been compromised, I've added a little extra security. And I go to the window and point out the two that'll be in the front to Zane. I mean, you won't be able to see them, but I just say there and there. Zane, I will rip that fucking arm off your body and beat you to fucking death with it.
But I'm just saying hi.
Don't.
Yeah, no.
And then I take him to the back and show him the 4 locations at the each side and to the rear as well, where they'd
Okay,
be.
sweet.
If he does the waving thing, I just grab his hand, put it down, and just
That was with the other hand.
I
not
grab his hand, I pull it down to his side, and just I'm like this far away from his face, and I'm probably giving him the most intense look that he's probably ever seen from me so far. And if he tries to raise his hand, it probably won't work out really well for him.
Okay.
What do you do, Zane? It's a very, very firm grip.
And you're this far from my face.
I'm so close to your face.
Wow, you're pretty when you're angry.
And I headbutt him in the face again.
Oh yeah.
Oh, did you have to do that?
Not as hard as last time, but just
I'm
enough.
gonna assume he's not fighting back.
Yeah, enough just to let him know that. Yeah, don't. Just fucking don't.
He's taking another minor hit to the face from Jackson, Zane. Zane, that's twice in one night. Your own blood's run down your nose too. This one's not as bad. I want you to make a rouse check for me.
Alright, so what's that? What do I
It's a
need
single
for that?
blood
Just
die.
a single hunger dice. Same success or failure.
It blank.
So that's a failure.
Awesome.
Get hungry.
You gain 1 point of hunger. It doesn't make it's not a bestial fat or anything like that, but you definitely are hungry. You can feel the beast welling up inside you. You want to hit him back. No one says you had to, but you want to. The beast within wants you to do something crazy. That Malkavian deep within you wants to be crazy. What hunger are you at, Zane?
2.
2. You can hold it at bay. You're fine. No bestial failure. So
I think I might go to my haven though.
okay.
Will he make
Do you
it there in
take-
time?
Yeah. Do you tell him this?
Nah.
It's a similar distance to his haven as it is from yours, so he will
That's
make
fine.
it there in time if he doesn't stop on the way. Well,
I'm not stopping. I'm going straight to my haven. I know what's there.
all right. When Jackson and Aaron, do you guys leave as well?
Yeah, I'd suggest to. I mean, does Zane leave straight away? Like, does he just go, or does he wait till we go?
Zane, what do you do?
I'll wait till you guys go.
Okay.
So
I'll just say as we leave, I'll just say to them, hey, look, just stay here. You're safe here. Pip, good. You fed last night.
You should stop picking on the IT support, you know. It's important.
It is important, but he's also a dickhead. I can't help it. I'm sorry. I mean, I'll try and control it, but I get wound up. It just happens. But you're good. You stay here. You're safe. Read over Billy's actually job for you. All that paperwork. Can you catalog it?
Yeah.
And read through it. Get as much information out of that surveillance footage and that paperwork as you can.
You got it.
And because we'll need that tomorrow night too. I'll come and get you tomorrow night before this meeting.
Okay.
You wait here, and I'll come get you tomorrow night.
Do I have the address?
No, I haven't given it to you yet.
Okay.
I'll come back. I'm not giving it to you because I'm coming back to get you guys. So.
Right, and with that,
Aaron and I would probably leave. So I'd be like, Aaron, yeah, my car's really loud. And I'm assuming your bike's pretty loud too.
Yeah, my bike's not much better.
Maybe, we could park a couple of blocks away. That'd be good.
Wait,
I say we go in your car because, as I said, I can stay there the night, day.
I just had an idea. Send me a picture when you get to the church.
Right, yeah, we'll do. And we'll head out.
Good point. You might be able to remember whether or not it's the right one.
Pip, before we chop to Echo, is there anything you're doing inside Pip and Zane? Zane, I know you're waiting till they leave and you're heading out, I take it.
So have they left?
Yeah, so they get in their car, and Jackson's car, and they head off.
Cool. Pip, did you want to come for a drive?
Can I take the cataloging stuff?
Absolutely.
Alright, so he gathers up all He's like, he stops for a bit as if he's thinking about what Jackson said, and he's like, alright, let's go.
Okay, so with that, I pack up all my equipment.
Yeah.
I leave the RF jammer there on.
Oh, sweet. Yep.
And while I'm outside, I call for an Uber.
Oh, wow.
Go back to my haven.
Yeah, and you take Pip with you.
Would I get a phone call or a text from my guys outside to say that they've left the building?
Zane and Pip, are you trying to be stealthy about leaving the building with us? Because he did show you all of his dudes outside.
Hell no.
Yeah, so we'll get to that, Jackson.
I kind of figured it would happen.
Zane and Pip, you guys head to Zane's haven, the little all-night internet cafe. You guys happy there?
Yeah.
Pip, is there anything you'll do during the hour and a half you've got left?
I'll set Pip up in the secure room.
Okay.
With all
the paperwork and stuff.
Sweet. And you're just going to go through it like Jackson asked, are you?
Yeah.
Good as gold.
And I'm going to try and recover any data lost.
Luckily for you, you said you backed up the footage from the night in question. Yeah. Anything you tried to do after that is gone. So the little USB stick, nothing. It's been fried. And with that, we'll cross to Echo. Echo, whereabouts were you headed?
I'm gonna get out when I'm in my Jeep. I'm gonna get out my phone because it's got my contacts, and I'm gonna call one of my herd that lives about 10 minutes away.
Yep.
And I'm gonna call her and say, Cassandra, I know, I work late hours. I'm having a bit of a writer's block. Can I come over and just maybe go over some ideas on how a vampire actually would bite in a certain scenario?
And she says, yeah, and you can clearly hear that she's probably been asleep, but anything for you. Yeah, that's not a problem. I'll get changed. How far away are you?
I'm about 10 minutes out. I'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, anything to help with a new book. Will I get credit in the book?
Oh, of course. Right at the forward.
Yeah. Okay, I'll put the jug on then.
Okay. I'll be right there. And I'm gonna make another call on the way.
Yep.
And then I hope to arrive at her house pretty quickly because it's late at night, so I probably can get away with going quicker.
How long do you spend on your other call?
Just about 10 minutes, 5 minutes, however long it takes to get there.
Okay, and Cassandra still lives in this area then?
Yeah.
You guys are still on the opposite side of Northcott, so...
All right, and then I'm going to arrive at her house and knock on the door and hope that she'll let me in. And
like a typical fangirl, she's overweighted. Like 10 minutes was like an hour for her. She's even dressed the part. She's dressed like a vampire because and a specific character from your book she's dressed like. She's got all the lights on in the house, but they're all dimmed out. And she actually greets you at the door before you even get there. She's opened it and she says, "Oh, wow, Echo. Fancy seeing you here."
oh, wow, you went all out. Thank you. This might actually help get those writers' juices flowing. Thank you. I just want to go over a couple of things with you since, your profession in the medical field, you would know about the veins and stuff. So I'm trying to sweet talk her.
Yeah. Are you activating any abilities in specific or just sweet talking?
Well, looking at her, she might not need it, but I'm gonna do all.
she probably doesn't need it, but activating it definitely helps.
Straight awe, and then I'm going to kind of just, if you don't mind, Cass, I'm gonna demonstrate just kind of what I had a problem with, and then I'm going to kind of sink my teeth in and try to get down to 1.
Look, with Aura up, and she's already a big fangirl, there's absolutely no way that you have to coax her any further. She, prior to Aura even being up, you could see she was into it. She thinks you're pretend biting her, and you sink your teeth in just that little bit to take what you need. And of course, it's like getting a jab at the doctor. It's an instant pain, but then it's not anymore. And of course, with the way you guys work it, it's almost like a drug to her now. If she swung that way, she would almost consider more than what you are doing now. Unfortunately, she doesn't. Or maybe fortunately for you. And you get what you need, and you are able to sate your hunger one by one.
I'm going to take down Awe and use Cloud Memory on her.
Yes.
And going to say, you have helped me so much with all your ideas tonight. I'm definitely putting you in my acknowledgements. You should feel very, very happy, is what I'm trying to instill in her.
Okay, so she's not resisting this one either, so you're not going to have to roll for this either, because it's all there. So Cloud Memory, it's cost free. Another vampire. Yep. So she takes it on board and she's, anything I can do to help Echo, I'm really glad that you came over and could trust me out of all the people we know.
Oh yeah, you're definitely my favorite. You really go all out with look what you've done. So.
And she, just for a note, she looks a hell of a lot like Elvira, that all black hair sort of tied back.
I'll invite you
days.
to my next vampire ball. You're definitely going to be on my list. How's that?
Oh, I heard it was soon.
Yes. So everyone will be there. So, I don't want to take up your time, so I'm gonna head out and let you get some sleep.
She sort of gives you a smile and says, "Oh, I was wide awake. Us vampires, we don't sleep in these hours."
Oh no, we don't. Very good. All right. Well, I give her a kind of a hug, and that little hug, and then I'm gonna wave bye and hop in my Jeep and get the hell out of there.
Easy done. And where are you headed to now? Back to the safe haven or somewhere else?
I'm gonna go to the Haven because Jackson said tomorrow go to Haven, so I'll head back there.
Good as gold. And when you arrive back, the guards are there, but no one else is there.
Marco. Yep. Anyone? No. Okay. I'll just kind of find a place to sleep.
There's plenty of rooms. There's 7 different spaces throughout this building. No hassle at all. Jackson, as soon as you exit the house, get in your car, start it up. The roar of the engine, Aaron, you know the good sound of a decent V8 when you hear one. It's awesome, but there's another sound. Your phone's kicked back into life after being jammed within the house. There's a text message.
I check it.
Check it and drive.
Yeah, my phone's normally on the dash on a little thing.
Oh, dash right.
So,
Yep. I was going to say you can't die anymore, right?
no. I check it, and yeah.
It's a text message from Sarah Barnett. She's thought of a couple of things, and she just says in the text, she would like to know from Jenny and Billy, who was the target at the birth. So under your questioning, she wants to know who was the target, if you can get her to answer that. She also mentions not to forget about the phone she gave you, I believe. She tells you in this text that it was Mary's driver.
Oh, Zane has it, actually.
Zane has it, yep. She says it was Mary's driver. It was a ghoul, and she gives you his name, a ghoul named Preston Sidgley. And she tells you in the text where it was found and whatnot.
Okay. I would just DM me that information in Discord, and I'll add it to my notes.
I'll do that, yep.
Any other messages?
No, that's the only messages that come through at that point.
Okay.
You guys get across town pretty quickly, trying to do your best through the traffic, which is pretty sparse at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. by this stage. Nearly 4. You're coming to a point where you're getting close to the church area, and you're sort of a street or a block off, knowing your vehicle's loud. Okay. What's your plan?
So I didn't get a text from my guys when Pippin that left the house.
Oh, sorry, and yeah, I had the note here. Just after you finish with your text and that, yes, Pippin and Zane have left the house.
I just, with that message, I just look over at Aaron and say, I knew they wouldn't fucking stay. And just show them the message.
Yeah, but where did they go?
Who knows? As long as we'll find them tomorrow. I'm more concerned about other things right now. What I will actually do is return the text message back and say to whoever sent the message, whether it was Joe or one of the other guys, tail him.
Okay, sweet. So Joe, it's Joe who sent the message. Joe will send a message back and say, yep, he's got a man on it. About 15 minutes to 30 minutes later, probably about the time you're arriving at the church, to be honest, you'll get a text message saying they've gone to Zane's all-night cafe.
Sweet. Take note of that. Yeah, we'll park about a block away, which wouldn't take too much for us to get there on foot.
Sweet. No hassles. You get to the church. It's a church like any other brick building, metallic roof, a couple of minor steeples. Nothing fancy. It's a newer model church.
I'll take a photo of the outside. I won't send it yet. I want to get a photo of the interior as well.
Okay. As you're heading in, the door's locked. Lights out. There's a small red glow from inside the building.
What's the roof system like? Like, does it look like these high windows, or maybe a way in higher up?
There's definitely windows, stock aluminium windows. It's not, like I say, it's not an old church with all the stained glass yada. There could be a way in if you forced entry, but at this point it looks pretty closed up.
Aaron, so you want to look for a way in down here, or up there?
Alright, so I'll just keep on walking around the outside, trying to find other...
I'll attempt to scale the outside. Head to higher up, look around the roof, maybe a way in around the top somewhere.
Scaling the outside, depending on, are you using any ability, or are you just trying to climb in general?
Just trying to climb in general. I mean, I've got cat's grace and rapid reflexes and all that sort of stuff, so it's, whether that,
like I say, it's
would aid or not.
Flat brick building. It's not going to help you much, but it's not a dual story or anything crazy high like that.
Mainly looking for upper windows and upper areas to get in.
Yeah, walking around, it's like I say, it's a single level building made of brick. Okay. There's no upper windows or anything. There is a skylight in the roof. You would see. Wow. Aaron, on your way around, you would notice the windows they seem to be closed and latched. They are slightly tinted, being a church, and they're sort of lifted higher than a normal window. So when people sit down in the church, they're not looking out the window at all. It would be high enough they can't see out. and others don't see in. And there is a rear door, but it is also locked, Aaron.
What type of... Is a skylight... Can I see through it, or is it sort of tinted
Yeah.
glass?
It's slightly or mildly tinted, and you could easily enough find a wheelie bin around the side of the church and clamber up over the gutter onto the roof if you want to have a better look at it. Doing so, you can see down into the church. Even in the moonlight, it just floods it enough. But there is that minor red light, which is just... It's a little glowing red light just behind the altar of the church there. And from the skylight, you can see bench seats and some pews and like a lectern for reading off.
Can't see any movement at all.
No movement, no people. Roll. Give me a wits awareness, please.
I pull out Zane's phone, the Zane network.
Yes, the Zane network.
3 successes.
And I send a group chat saying, Pip, was it a new church or an old church? Question mark.
Cool. 3 successes, Jackson, did you say?
Yes.
No movement at all from within, other than the little glowing red candle. Doesn't seem to be any people at all. You can't see any sign of life or unlife.
Is the skylight one that opens, or is it sealed?
It's sealed from this side, and it doesn't look like it could open.
Okay. I'll go back down and try and find out where Aaron is.
Yeah, it wouldn't take you long to get to the door. Aaron's message gets through to you, Zane. Sorry, Pip.
So he's got the phone on the table, he reaches over, looks at it, thinks for a bit, remembering the benches, he's like, just types, I think, older, maybe, possibly, not really sure.
Yeah, hard to tell from a bench, Pip, but yeah, the bench did look older.
Yeah. And that's the message.
What's the
Aaron,
lock
you
like on the back door?
They're the same sort of flick bolt type lock you'd get on a standard house these days. You know, the old square box, you flick a switch and it just clicks closed, yeah. It's got a keyhole, no handle sort of thing.
Do we care if they know that we open the door or not?
That's what I was thinking. I mean, I could pick it. I do have my tools, but no guarantees.
Since I walked around the outside, did I see like a security alarm box?
Yes, you would have seen a security alarm box. You know, the old, it's like a rectangular white shaped one. It's got a blue light
with
and it
the
just
siren
flashes.
and the light.
Yep, that's the one.
So I've got the feeling that the door would be wired.
Either that or it's got a motion sensor on the inside. Depends on how much money they spent.
Yep, Jackson, you're definitely, you know, with your knowledge, you would sort of assume the same.
Actually, with that, then, having a closer look at that security box, would I be able to determine how modern the security system would be, judging by the exterior?
Yeah, within the last 10 years, you would guess.
Okay. So chances are dual, maybe 3 or 4 motion sensors. Get in the door, but probably set motion sensors off.
Do we actually want to go in the...
I had a look through the skylight. It doesn't look like there's any. Yeah, it's dark. It's pretty dark. I didn't see anything moving.
Did you send a photo to Pip?
I've got a photo of the outside, but I don't think he saw the outside of the building. I'd rather get a
he
photo.
saw the inside, but see, he said pews. So if you take a photo of the pews, that...
Don't know if the phone will pick him up from that height. I mean,
well, we can always open the skylight.
Yeah,
and
true.
And then after we take the photo, get the fuck out of there.
An option.
Because if the alarm goes off,
either way, we could probably do the same, kick in the door, and to be fair.
Yeah, but we got to get further.
All right, give me a second. Keep an eye out. I'll be back. I'll go back to the roof.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm coming with you, dude. I'm
come on, then.
Stay here. And I'll lift him up, and then
I'll help
just
him up. Yeah.
jump
Well,
up.
Forget.
myself.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit. Maybe I should have sent you to the roof in the first place. Fucking hell.
Like I say, no task needed. You guys, it's a small building. You guys are way more powerful enough to get up on
Yep.
the roof and do what you have to do. Even lifting the skylight, like I say, it's a sealed unit, but between the two of you, if that's what you're doing, you're able to pry it up. No hassles.
And with that, I'd probably have have another sort of, before jumping down, have a good look to see if I can see anything moving.
Once again, you don't see anything at all.
All right, I'll be back.
I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to actually
Oh,
have
yes.
Beast, Eyes of the Beast active,
Okay.
so I can see in the dark really well.
Sweet, yes you can. So, Eyes of the Beast is active. I'll get you to do the same roll. Intelligence awareness, please.
While he's doing that, I probably would have received the message that Echo just sent.
No, you wouldn't because the gem's still on.
Ah, true. Of course, she's at the house, isn't she?
4 successes.
I
All
forgot
successes.
about that.
Yeah, so unfortunately, Echo, you have no way of knowing that your message got out or not. You just hit send and it doesn't, you get no replies. Aaron, with your 4 successes, no movement in the building, it's dead empty. You can't see anything. Eyes of the Beast sees clearly and there is nothing moving in that building.
Do I see any motion detectors when I look around from underneath?
Yes. The building's a long rectangle. It's got a couple of side rooms, but as a whole, you can see 3 motion detectors that cover the room.
Alright, so I just kind of pull out the phone and take a bunch of photos.
Yeah, we can probably take him from the roof, yeah.
Yeah, from the roof of the pews and everything, and send it to Pip and say, so does this jog any memories?
And this is with the skylight lifted. You've lifted the skylight?
Yeah, so I basically stuck myself underneath, but popped your head through the skylight, looked where the security things are, and then taken the photos. So I'm trying not to set it off, pretty much.
Cool, no worries. At this point, if you're just poking through, taking the photos, send it to Pip. I'll let Pip answer. Pip, you get it's a text photo, like a text message photo, right?
Yeah, be a series of like 3 photos, like different angles of the same pews, and gone. Does this jog any memories?
All right, Pip.
Yeah.
You know that the seats look completely different. They don't match anything you saw in your vision.
Worth a shot.
So I'll just take back a different angle than I had. Also, different church.
Since that's on the group one, everyone's got it except Echo. She's the one that's
Yep.
not receiving.
I sent another text. Hello.
And then I also said, so was it newer looking or older than these?
Pip, you would say older.
Something to tell Zane later.
Well,
Older churches.
Since it's group chat, Zane should be seeing this and start narrowing his search. And I'm also going to put that into the message saying, Zane, can you narrow your search for older than this building?
Right, so
and
what time are we looking at now?
And I'm going to say it's almost sun up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
But
cutting
you're
it
getting
hard now. It's real close.
Right. Dude, I can offer you a place to hang out. I mean, I know you like the dirt and everything, but my haven's not far.
Yeah, look, I don't care.
It's comfortable. It's safe.
Yeah, I could do with a good place for once.
I got some good whiskey too.
Had a bed.
Not that we can drink it. It smells good though.
And with that,
I've had
you
it
guys,
for several decades.
And with that, you guys retreat to your haven then?
Yes. Drive to William Street and through the underground car park at the rear of the building.
Good eye. We will call that the end of the night, and we'll start afresh the new night. So, as far as you're all concerned, unless there's anything really specific anyone wants to do, it is then the following night, a third night in this story. Everyone who awakes as the sun is going down will need to make a rouse check for me.
Success.
Yes.
Any failures there? Not a bestial failure, Echo. Not.
Not this time.
That's good. So you sated your hunger previous night, but you're back at another hunger. Pip, did you pass as well?
Yeah.
Excellent. So if no one else has failed, that's fine. Just one hunger on Echo.
So with that, I go to my stockpile of blood bags and get one out because I'm a little bit nauseous.
That's fine.
And I go, Pip, did you want one?
No, thank you. Too busy. You enjoy.
No problem. Also to note that that gem is probably gone dead now because it was on battery.
Okay, so you guys will all get Echo's messages this morning, or this evening, sorry.
Yeah.
Now, Jackson, we'll just fast forward slightly here. So the messages come through. Jackson, you've given who needs the
I would send
address?
the message. I would send a message firstly to Echo saying Aaron and I are at my haven already. Zane and Pip are at Zane's haven, where he shouldn't be. And I will be texting him the address that I gave you shortly.
So using personal phone?
No, using the burner phone.
Okay.
And that would have been on the group. That would have been on the group text, so you all would have got it.
And I reply back, we didn't leave anywhere.
I send and then also said to Echo, can you please bring Munro with you?
Listen, this is why I don't use phones. I'm tossing this one out.
I would then use my personal phone to send a text to Joe to tell whoever tailed Zane and Pip to pick them up.
Sweet. He said he sent Eric to tail them. So
I'll get Eric to visit Zane and Pip at Pip's shop, at Zane's shop, and pick them up.
Sweet.
And I'll
Zane.
text Zane and say, look, someone's coming to get you.
Yeah,
Make sure you're ready.
Long. From the text, Zane, a man knocks on the door. Doesn't even knock, actually. It's an open cafe, right? He comes on and asking for you and says he's here to pick you up and drive you to where you need to be.
Are you ready, Pip?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Jackson, do you send that message to Marco as well?
Yes, I send him, using my personal phone, I send a message to Marco saying this is the address, giving them the address and instructions to be at the rear of the building in the underground. It's like a underground basement. Not a car park, it's like it's a garage, basically.
Same instructions.
And this time around, I'm taking 3 laptops, no desktop.
Yeah, 3 laptops, no desktop.
And with that, I'd grab Aaron and would head over to that building and wait for everyone.
Okay, so we're going to, unless there's anything, Echo, you had your hand up before, you want to do something prior?
No, I'll just text Bishop, my assistant, where I'm going to be. That's all.
Okay, sweet. So Bishop, he texts you back with that affirmative and lets you know he's got you back and the boat is safe. With that, we'll head to Jackson, your safe haven, which will be roughly an hour into the night for everyone to get there happily and join together.
So
Marco.
Yeah, the address I gave them is 2 buildings to the north of where my haven is.
Okay, Marco pulls up 3 vehicles. Him with the prince and one of the prince's coterie with him, and then another vehicle and another vehicle, all with drivers, all have a couple of people, and you guys, anyone outside waiting would recognise the prince and his coterie.
A couple of my guys will be on the door. It's like a big roller door. As the vehicles come through, they'll be ushered into the building. Once everyone's in, the doors will be closed behind us.
Cool. Alright, Marco steps out and prince and that behind him, and everyone is cautious. The prince's coterie and the prince all are holding rather large Thomason model guns. They, looking around, they're almost like a well-oiled hunting machine, and Marco included, also holding a Tommy gun.
My guys are holding AR-15s just to for
Sweet
context.
They
more modern versions of these Thompson machine guns.
They definitely look like something straight out of a 40s or 50s gangster film. So, with that, as they move around the vehicle and come towards you, Marco sort of looks at you and says, "Right, everyone here, where is this place?"
Follow me. Stick close and follow my instructions, unless you want to be toasted. And he looks at Zane, again looks over his shoulder directly at Zane. Don't touch anything.
But, okay, but.
Prince Taylor, if you would like to follow me directly. Everyone else behind, if you will.
You sure can't touch anything, right?
I'm going to stay right behind Zane.
I'm going to ignore Zane.
Sure he doesn't touch anything.
I pause at that remark. I don't say anything, and then I move forward, lead them across the basement of the underlevel of this building to a service elevator, a rather large service elevator, big enough for a car. One of the pull-up, the wooden gate type deals. Open it up, usher everybody in, pull it down, and it will descend for probably a minute or so, probably 3 floors deep.
Yep.
It will open out into a hallway, a concreted style hallway, almost like a service sort of area, piping, electrical sort of piping up one side, plumbing, all that sort of stuff. It's lit, but it sort of lights every 30-40 feet, so it's sort of light dark kind of scenario, so dim light in between. And I turn to the prince directly and look and say, "Look, stick close, step where I step," and start moving down the corridor, sticking to the right hand side initially.
Prince Taylor, you would know Marco always leads in front of you at this point, and your coterie are to, if they can be to either side. If it's single file, they follow in order of how you normally would like it, but Marco always is in front of you at this point. So he is following Jackson directly, and you are directly behind him again. The rest of the group, I assume, just falls behind the prince's crew.
So this tunnel goes on for several hundred feet, and I'm sometimes on the right, sometimes on the left, stepping in very specific places. At one point I sort of slow and just point down the right hand side and say, don't step there, move over as far as you can to the left. And just again, every now and again, not pointing out directly where things are, but just saying, careful here, just follow me. Leads through an iron doorway into another set of tunnels, which then head to the west. Takes about 25 minutes to half an hour to reach a set of double iron doors, very sturdy iron doors, which I unlock with a keypad, which leads into a more lavish style basement area, sort of a tiled hallway with painted walls, decent lighting. Looks more like a more lived in rather than service area.
Okay, and how long does it roughly take to get through this?
Takes about half an hour, 35 minutes or so, at a reasonable pace. So it's a reasonable distance, and there was lots of turns, lefts and rights through different doors leading to this particular area. So if someone had a really good memory, they'd probably be able to find their way back through here. Maybe. It's possible. But it's designed to not be overly easy to follow.
Okay, bit of a labyrinth, bit of
Yeah.
a maze.
But it does lead into the back end of my haven. I will lead them down a long, well-lit hallway, leading them through another set of double doors, leading into a large, almost lounge-style area. Leather couches, shag-style carpet, like very lavish, kind of 70s, 80s style decor.
Okay, right at the back, Prince Marco, then the Prince, then the coterie of the Prince. There's the whole time who you guys assume would be Tim, aka Jeremy. He has a black sash bag over his head, and one of the coterie has been pushing him along the whole way. He hasn't been allowed to look; they've just been directing the whole way. He hasn't made a peep, hasn't made a noise. He seems to be limping, and he doesn't seem to be as in a good a condition as when you saw him last.
I would be waiting at the door, ushering everybody in.
Okay.
I would probably turn around to one of the Cody or Marco himself and say, we can put him somewhere safer for now, if you wish.
Yep, go ahead. That's not a problem. He's in no position to argue.
I'll take him and place him in the cell next to Jenny.
Before you do, question for the storyteller. We've had him for 2 nights, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so during those 2 nights, I have been feeding him my blood. So when we put him into the room, I'm going to go in with him, and with a syringe that I have with me, I'm going to inject him with the 3rd lot of blood to blood bound him.
Excellent. You know that during that time also, Marco has been doing a number on him, trying to get as much information out of him as possible. So he has taken a beating as well as blood bonding with you.
I dare say I would see that as I'd lead them to the room.
Absolutely.
Oh, I don't hide anything from
Figured you
so
wouldn't.
If you see,
I wouldn't even question
I'm
it.
not hiding.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hide anything. I'm a ruthless bastard, so it's not going to be something I'm going to hide.
And Jackson wouldn't say anything. He'd probably actually nod in recognition of the whole thing and then close and lock the door. Again, it's all done with keypad. Nothing's done with keys. It's all combination keypad locks.
Sweet. Yeah, and that's exactly right. Leslie just basically, as Marco said, you take him. Leslie just pushed past, jammed the needle in, no words spoken, and he didn't even care. He just sort of shoved you aside like it was nothing. You would notice too, as the Prince pushed past you, that even though he wasn't trying to shove you deliberately, he was just pushing past. There was a lot of strength there for a guy his size.
No worries. With that, we'd head back into the lounge room. I would position my 2 guys outside of the room with instructions that no one else gets in.
Okay.
At all. Don't care who it is.
Yeah, they shut the door behind you and it seals, you know that.
Yep. And with that, I would invite the Prince and Mark and the coterie to take a seat wherever they wish, and all the seats. There's enough seating in here for everyone, and it's comfortable.
Marco and the coterie don't sit at all until the Prince has decided where he's sitting.
Prince will take the lounge that gives him the best view to look at everybody as they seat themselves.
If the Prince was looking at a position of sort of domination or view, there'd be a large desk with a large chair sit a step or two higher than the rest of the room at one end, which is where Jackson would do most of his research and stuff.
So if that gives me the clear view, that's where I'll go.
No problem. So, with that, Jackson would then take a seat anywhere. I mean, he'd probably sit on the arm of a couch or something, facing the Prince. And actually turn to Pip at that stage and say, Pip, you got all that paperwork, yeah?
Yeah, got it.
And he'll put his hand out to grab it.
Yeah.
And then he just turned over and say, well, over to you, Marco.
Straight off the bat, I don't apologise normally, if at all, but I do apologise for the situation you were in. And he's looking at the hounds at this point. You've been 2 nights chucked together and expected to do some solving of some serious issues, and we understand that this is a hard task. You don't even know each other. However, the job is a job, and this is what you're here for now. So with that said, Prince, you may address them. And he backs away, bows to you.
So, as Leslie's going to be talking to you, he's just basically going to be scanning the room, looking at, you know, your facials, you know, your expressions, looking down at your hands, looking at your feet, just wanting to see, you know, any, you know, just trying to learn about you guys, how you conduct yourselves, etc., etc. Yeah, so he kind of stands up and looks right at you guys and say, yes, I agree exactly with what Marco has said. You've been put in a situation where most would fold under pressure. Let me be completely clear. You've done a great job. From what Marco has told me, the information that he's sifted through to me, for the amount of time you've been put together in such a short period of time, you have done a great job. So I will commend you for all your efforts that you have put in thus far. In terms of a bit of a sort of acknowledging nod towards Echo in recognition of her trying to get his attention from the meeting at the first night, and just carries on. However, as you know, last night we were attacked again. And this wasn't a random attack. There is no way in hell that this is random. Just out of for knowledge, storyteller, is the information that you gave me. Are John and Tally with us?
You're muted.
Sorry, you were muted.
Sorry, John and Tally, no, they are final death.
Okay. So, as you can see, not the full coterie is with us tonight. We lost 2 from this attack. And from that, I'm not happy. They were put down very, very quickly by a single assailant. They also had a crack at me. Luckily for them, I did a pretty piss poor job at it. But what I can tell you, what I saw at first was a humanoid figure. And just as we were starting to get on top, they ran away. Not humanoid, but as a large wolf. to me, there's only one possibility. Well, sorry, two possibilities. And there's a kind of look towards Aaron. We know gangrel can turn into wolves, but these weren't the size of what a gangrel wolf would be. So that only leaves me with one possible answer. The Gaaru are involved. We know that because they're taking over our parks. My question is, who else is with them? The information I have been shared, and I acknowledge Aaron's waving his hands.
The who? I don't know this group.
The Gaaru are werewolves, shapeshifters.
Oh, skinwalkers.
Yes.
Ah, right.
So they have a humanoid form. They have a form which is pretty much their ultimate form, which is what you would probably see depicted in mainstream movies. But they also have a lupine form, which is a fairly large wolf.
How much do we know
Did
about the Gaaru?
actually,
As in hunting, as Jackson's interest is now being piqued.
Originally, when the first attack happened, I did see two wolf-like run away, and I originally thought it was someone from our clan. But when I did some research, I found out that none of us have got a gripe with you.
We
Because
also had two eyewitnesses putting two large
wolves
in the building.
But we didn't know if that was true or not, because, you know, the shit that some of our kind can do to other people's minds. Look, when you were attacked the second time, how exactly did your first two guys go down?
Okay, so we were leaving the Elysium, and what happened was, as we were exiting the first level, so out of character, Elysium is a 2-level parking garage. So as we came to the first exit, the gate didn't open, which is unusual because there's a guard there. So they would, you know, they know the cars, they know it's us coming in and out, so they would open it. We had two of my coterie hopped out. They checked the hut. He wasn't there. So we carried on, and whereas we were about to exit the street, we've got two cars, as you know. We use the 2-car system, so half the coterie in one and the other half in the second car, so, and one is a decoy. The first car, which I was not in, it was something dropped onto it, similar to what happened the other night. It exploded, the car lit up. Tally, she had no chance. she was taken by the flames so very quickly. And John had a bolt fired straight into his heart, putting him down instantly into the burning car. And that's when we all got out and just went to town.
Who knew you were moving?
Only my inner circle.
That's
You,
that's what concerns me.
yeah, you know where I'm going with this.
Oh, I have thought about this too.
Because-
This might offer a little insight. Well, and I take the paperwork that I took off Pip, and I put it on the desk in front of him. This was taken from Billy Singh's place. He's been watching you some time. Definitely not working alone. Not sure he's working under his own recognizance at this point.
And he did let loose that he's working for the Sabbat.
I'm still not convinced that's entirely the truth.
My question is this Skinwalker faction the Gaaru? Gaaru? Are they known to be linked to the Sabbat? Or are they
No.
independents like us?
They hate the kindred with a passion.
Oh, so this is a third group. Because, like, we've found stuff that the government know about us and have started a little bit of an inquisition, which apparently one of your Justicars may be tied up in.
Yes, I've heard that.
We've got these...
Yeah, hence the debacle at the birth last night.
Oh, yeah, and that's another one. Like
Sarah.
Sarah just came out of fucking nowhere, who's having a conversation with Billy the night after. Well, was meant to have a conversation with Billy the night after your first attempt. I'm not saying that she's turned, but
We're saying that there's a lot going on here. A lot more even we don't understand yet. A lot more conversations need to be had.
So as you guys are talking, I'm looking through the photos and whatnot, and I rest my hand on at least one of them, and I'm going to use Spirit's Touch.
Spirits
Which
touch.
is
I've
an
got
intelligence
so many
Auspex roll.
Yep, intelligence or specs and a rouse check.
No hunger, so I pass.
Nice.
Not that he would be worried if he didn't pass. I know I need to... Now, we automatically start with 1 hunger, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so that is a critical success
Nice.
with 1, 2, 3, 4, so 8 successes.
Nice. Holy crap.
Excellent. Good roll. Good roll, Magic. You...
that's nuts.
He's the prince. I mean, come on.
Okay, so you can, with that, you're looking for, you're sensing emotional residue on this photo, and I assume you're looking for something from Billy.
Yes, I'm trying to see if there's anything with Billy that we can determine to try and piece a little bit more of the puzzle together. So,
Yep.
If there's any way, because it's within 3 nights, the difficulty would have been roughly about 3 or 4.
I've got the difficulty sorted. Just wanted to know exactly what you're after. So yeah,
I'm trying to see if in terms of with the photos, obviously it won't show who he's delivered them to,
no,
but
that's right.
because that would have been before the event, so I'm looking for anything prior where he would have possibly got contact with whoever is asking him to do this reconnaissance.
Right. So you handle the picture and you get a warm feeling through your fingers. Take a deep breath. You know straight away it's 100% linked to the Sabbat. That's the first feeling you get. That feeling of Billy's straight up. When he gives an answer, it's the truth. You know that. He's linked to the Sabbat. You're seeing, and I don't know if you'd see it directly, you'd get the feeling that he's dealing with someone above him. Maybe two people above him. And you know that they are working through like a cult scenario. And you know what the Sabbat want. They want to rule. They want to rule the humans, and they want the Masquerade shut down. And you know the only reason they hide and stick to the Masquerade is because the Camarilla outnumber them. And this photo is telling you that they are trying to take out the most important, the heads of state, basically. That's what they want. That's what you glean from this photo. Billy knew it. He was looking through your coterie, and he's known his plan was to put you all down so that Sabbat can slowly, Melbourne, then whatever the other, I've got the map open here, go through Sydney, go through Northern Australia, the territories. They want to take out all the Camarilla heads and put a Sabbat in that position, and they're starting small, and you're one of their priority targets because you are the one with the biggest name going for yourself. And that's what you gleaned from this photo.
Okay, so I will relay that back to the coterie. This Billy's definitely Sabbat. He's answering to someone higher. I do know there's Sabbat in South Yarra.
So the Sabbat.
There's an archbishop in South Yarra.
What you're saying though is the Sabbat have recruited possibly the Gaaru as assassins.
You don't get a feeling from that photo of anything to do with werewolves, Gaaru, anything of that description.
Look, if what I know about them, which is just 5 minutes worth of information, they hate all vampires, so they wouldn't work with them.
So with that, I motioned to one of the coterie to bring me that the bolt action crossbow that was used in the attack.
And they opened a suitcase one of them was carrying, pulls it out of the suitcase, hands it over to you.
Before I do anything, I actually stand and walk down to Jackson and I hand it to him to show him the quality of this device. So and I look at him and I ask him, what do you think of this?
And I'll go over it. I'll look at the composition, what it's made of.
It's not old. It's new. It's a newer version.
That's what I mean. I'll just go through everything, whether it's made from carbon fiber, plastic, metal. Yep. I'll draw it, see what sort of draw weight it's got. Well, I'd pretty much go over it.
It's a precision instrument, carbon fiber, black. It's got like pulley ends, like a composite bow. One of those fancy hunting bows would have. It's been modified to take stakes, and attached to it, where the prince handed to you, it's got 2 large, I say large, 25 mil, 250 mil metal stakes, silvered to the max. Whether that works or not, it's silvered, and pointed sharply at the ends. Doesn't feel like it's full of anything. They're quite heavy. Fairly damaging weapon. Before you carry on there, Zane, have you been sitting quiet this whole time, or you had something to say?
With the crossbow, is there any serial numbers on it?
Jackson, as you look over it, no identifying properties.
Okay, that's it.
Pip,
I would
you're sitting
relay.
quietly
I
too.
would relay back to him that it's custom built. Someone's built this for a specific task.
Pip, is anything you want to do? I just want to give the others a chance to have a chat here for a second.
He's just sitting there, looking very serious, probably more serious than he's like put on this facade of business meeting Pip. And he's just sitting there paying attention.
And Echo, while Jackson is inspecting this device, is there anything you would like to put forward?
I'm tempted to get out my writer's notepad and take notes, but I feel like it would be bad manners, so I'm kind of like, and just sit still.
Okay. And Jackson, yeah, you relay that information to Zane.
Yeah.
It's been covered and
It's
nothing.
custom made. I'd look directly at the prince and say, you don't mind, and I would turn away from him, load it, and fire it at the opposite wall. There is a target, which I quite often shoot at the opposite end of this room, and just to see what sort of range. I mean, it's a long room, so it's probably 100 feet, 150 feet down the other end of the room.
Okay.
And just to see what range, accuracy, what sort of penetration this would have on this target.
What type of target is it?
It's it'll be almost like jib front, but it'd be all sand and stuff and behind it, and the jib can be replaced as it gets fucked up, basically. It's hard packed sand behind it.
You pull the crossbow back. It's got a really good tension on it. You fire it, boom, and all of you see the bolt just buries itself. You cannot see the bolt anymore. It is buried into that sand behind it. Probably, you'd imagine, good for 300 feet. At this distance, straight through.
Did you see how far away this was fired from, or was it close? Talking to the prince.
I would say whoever it was didn't want to be close to us, so it was at range.
Yeah, it was about 100 meters back. Leslie, you'd know that.
Impressive piece of enemy.
I'm gonna go recover the bolt or arrow.
The bolt, yeah.
You'd have to tear the wall out to get to it.
That's not an issue for me.
Jackson wouldn't care.
Because I want to see what happened to the arrow on impact.
And it doesn't take you long to tear it through the drywall, pull out through the sandbag or whatever sanding's behind it. It is still a solid steel stake. It's bunted on the end a bit where it's impacted as it's hit the sand. Otherwise, it's in one piece.
Kind of look at it and go, this shit's designed to take one of us out.
Is it too late for me to say that Echo is watching the sheriff's reactions the whole time? Just like I'm passively watching him.
No, that's fine. And I'm going to make a roll and you're going to make a roll. I want you to roll wits awareness for me as you're keeping an eye on him. And I'm going to see if he notices you watching him.
While you guys are doing that, Jackson's going to put the crossbow back down, or probably hand it back to the prince at this point, and just say, "If you'll excuse me, I'll be right back." Because my guys recovered all the weapons from Billy Singh's place. Some of the ammunition, not all, because there was that minor incident, the ammunition case. Because what were the rounds that he had that we recovered? It was a
There was
mixture, wasn't
multiple
it?
rounds, yeah. So every weapon had its normal rounds. Then there were 50 cal for this 50 cal weapons. He had some of the rounds were incendiary and some were acid.
I'll grab the acid rounds and the incendiary rounds for weapons that we covered.
Yep, there'll be about 15 in each box, and there's about 3 boxes of each.
No, I won't grab the whole lot, just sort of one,
Echo?
an example
I
of
got
each.
I got 4.
You're looking at Marco, and he's
And while I do that, I'll be right back.
he's listening to the conversations that have happened. He's nodding when the prince says things. He's acknowledging. The arrow gets fired. He watches it. The bolt gets fired. He watches it. Looks pretty impressed. And then he looks over to you and he says, "Echo, do we have a problem?"
No problem. Just being attentive.
Attentive. Okay. That's fair.
I'm just curious on what your views are on this, because you're experienced on being the sheriff of situations like this. What do you think?
I think someone's targeting our prince. That's what I think. I also think that whoever it is, I mean, it could be multiple someone's. The ball was a firebomb of some description. Nothing I've seen before. It sprayed some sort of, was it gas or liquid, and then up in smoke. I know it hurt. It fucking hurt. Look at my face, and he's still bearing the scars from the night where he jumped in front of the prince. And he says, "For all I know, it's multiple parties, and Leslie's not immune to people hating him. We've been through this before, haven't we, Prince?"
Fucking oath, Marco. It's not the first dance we've been to, and it won't be the last.
Leslie's been attacked, not once, but multiple times in his reign. We've always come out on top. The only difference is here, and the biggest difference, is it seems to be more than one party. That's my feeling. I feel there's more than one party behind this. Any more questions?
Do you feel like someone hired 3 parties to get a definite shot at the prince to take his position?
I don't know who would hire multiple groups. I'm worried about Mary Wade. That's my biggest worry. If she's caught with the FBI or the Second Inquisition or the ASIS or whoever, that's bad for us. Real bad. Because there is a lot of mortals out there. Any points, just in a general direction. There's a lot of mortals out there. And if they find out what we are, we're the number 1 hit list. We are the ones they target. No one wants monsters that can take them out. It's a nightmare for everyone. And that's why we keep the Masquerade. And you all should know this. Even you, Pip, by now have a clue that the Masquerade is important to keep us hidden so we don't become the target of thousands, millions, hundreds of millions around the globe. What bothers me is that we're being targeted. Leslie has been targeted by more than one of these factions. Yeah, it could be the SI, but then what's this wolf thing that we're seeing, or that he's seeing? I mean, the werewolves don't rear their heads. We haven't seen hide nor hear of them in the whole time they've been here in Melbourne. We know they inhabit a few of the parks. They haven't caused trouble before. Why would they start now? This is why we're appointing hounds in the first place, to get behind some of these unknowns.
So pretty much it's just a perfect shitstorm.
Yes, unfortunately, we've got multiple leads, and we're going to have to start squeezing these multiple leads, which is why we've got you to bring... Well, I brought Jeremy. We've got you to bring Jenny, Billy. And I think without any more waiting, we should be questioning these, for lack of a better term, assholes.
And by this time, Jackson would have returned, sitting quietly. Hands the rounds to the prince, or to Marco, who was closest. These are what Billy and clearly the Sabat are using. Acid tip rounds, incendiary rounds, designed to either kill outright or to slow healing, enough to cause some major damage. 12 weapons in all was taken, well, 11, including one we found at the Elysium. Jenny was using a high-powered sniper rifle as well. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get hold of that. Not sure if my contact within was able to get it, or whether their side got to it first, but assuming she was similar rounds.
Jackson, your phone is on silent, I assume, during the
Yes.
meeting. It vibrates in your pocket.
I would probably ignore it, knowing the prince's feeling on such things at this point.
That's fine, just so you know.
And as far as
If I take note of it, is that something important?
you don't mind, it could be.
Go ahead. If it's important and it helps us right now, I'd rather know now rather than find out later.
I'll check my phone.
It's Sarah Barnett.
Ringing or text?
Text.
What was the message?
Her people that she left in the berth when you guys left so quickly. It's a short message, but just the description for you. She asked them to clean the area where the shots were fired at Echo and Sarah. They searched the grass to try and get rid of any evidence. They pulled 2 large, very similar-looking stakes from the ground. She's described the stakes, and they are similar.
So this is kind of important. It appears that Jenny was not firing bullets at you and Sarah Echo at the berth. Similar sort of stake style round was found at the scene. So luckily she wasn't a very good shot. As far as Billy's concerned, Billy's not here.
And why is that?
We chose a
and with
calculated.
That, so just put his hands up over his ears.
We chose a calculated course of action and allowed Billy to go, which led us to the meeting with Jenny and ultimately turned into the bullshit that went down. But it also led us to his house. Without him letting him go, we would not have the information we have now. And I believe Jenny has more information than Billy. I think Billy's broken.
Broken how?
I think he's not mentally there anymore. He gave us basics, but very basics.
Marco steps forward after the prince speaks, and he doesn't interrupt the prince. He waits till he goes to finish his sentence, and he says, "So hang on, you're telling me you just let Billy go? What do we?
He's
what
still
was
in
the
town.
Thought process behind this?
As I said, without it, we wouldn't have the information we have now. We wouldn't have Jenny. I'm
And where
not
is he
sure
now?
about. He's in town, still here. We're not sure
Do we have
entirely
eyes
where.
on him?
Pip. Jackson turns to Pip at that point and just
Yes.
says, Pip was able to look in on Billy. He didn't seem to be running. I'm not entirely sure I'm not entirely sure Billy intends on running.
Billy also was tied up. Jenny apparently was there according to cameras, but was not. So she has the more chance to be a possibility of one of the target snipers, as well as more information. Also, we didn't get actually hit, so I think that's very concerning at the park.
I turn to Marco and I just clarify. So this Jenny is supposed to be a decorated sniper, correct?
From our investigations, she's a decorated military operative. Snipering was one of her abilities, but I wouldn't go as far as she's no Billy.
So the chances of someone of her caliber missing 2 shots, what are the chances of that?
Yes, I would say they are slim.
I would say they're slim to none.
So
Her expertise is
you can say
reconnaissance.
was this some kind of warning shot?
Possibly.
Well, we have her here, don't we? Shall we ask her? Let's bring her out.
If you don't mind, and I can be a little bit bold, we haven't had a chance to question her ourselves as yet. She was torpid last night and brought here, safe. And I would really like to talk to Timothy, Jeremy, who the hell he is. I understand what I've seen. You've bonded him. I'm assuming that makes him a lot more cooperative. Still
that's
don't know
the
his
plan.
role. We're not sure what his role in all this is. He was just an anarch at Elysium. Wrong place, wrong time, from what we can gather. Unless
Do
he's
you
given you
believe
some
that?
information. As I said, without information, we're not sure.
A man in your position, what does your intuition tell you about a random anarch in a Camarilla business meeting?
Anarchs are always up to something. You know I believe that. He seemed to, for want of a better term, dumb, be up to something. But
Marco interjects and says, also, the ball was for Camarilla business owners. The invitations were only sent to Camarilla business owners. He was an anarch disguised as a Camarilla business owner.
have we
That's a
found that
problem.
business owner? That's the thing that I want to know.
Who sent the, who sent the invitations? Do we know?
That was me directly. I sent them.
Oh,
So is that business owner that did not make it, but Timothy, what's his face?
Walton,
Have we
yes.
found him? Is he missing?
Has anyone looked
alive?
for him?
We haven't got that far yet. We were focused on the device and the potential shooters.
So at this point, I would say no, because I have not put any of my crew on it. We didn't question Timothy.
Right.
I believe you did most of
Wait
that.
a minute. Didn't the list have like a photo of the person as well? Did they
Yes.
match?
He was disguised.
Yeah, he was disguised, yeah.
He was disguised.
Yeah.
He
I
was
mean,
using
I'm
a
not
kindred
going to
ability.
stand here and deny the prince questioning Jenny if that's what you want. But I would ask maybe another night at least. Give us a chance to get a little bit more information.
Look, we can all stand around her and beat the shit out of her and ask
I don't think it'll
questions.
work. I don't think she's military. She's not going to give information under threat of violence.
At the same time, like,
There are other
Isn't-
means to get information out of someone.
yeah.
I'm aware.
Well, isn't this about like an onion? They've got levels. Wouldn't Billy be on the most outer level? He would know fuck all. Now we have
You
someone
watching
that's
fucking
actually...
Shrek, Aaron? I mean, fuck.
Shrek's cool, man. Don't knock him. He's big, green, and he's an awesome delivery guy. But that's the thing. Like, we've got someone that's a little bit further in. So
Yeah, I think Jenny
technically
was.
we've got a better target.
I think Jenny was Billy's contact. She was feeding him instructions or information at the very least.
I agree.
I believe Billy's nothing more than a trigger man at this point.
Marco nods. Prince, it's up to you. If you wouldn't leave her questioning to Jackson and the Hounds first, that's fine by me.
Let's see what these guys can do, Marco.
Agreed.
I want to see how good they are. You say these guys are good? Let's give them the opportunity to prove it. But first, gets another syringe out, hands it to Jackson. You stick this in her arm
Jackson will take it, and he'll nod.
Now, I know we're probably not going to get enough time to fully bound her,
It'll be a start.
but if you used Billy to get to where you are now, we can do the same with Jenny.
I believe so.
The blood in her will let me know where she goes.
I mean, we may have no need to do exactly the same.
I have devices. Do we use devices?
Zane, please.
What? Oh, okay, sorry.
What I want to do, and Marco looks at the prince. I'd like to have one, if not two, of the hounds with you and your coterie at all times, while the others do their job. And they can swap out. I feel like you need more than just your coterie now. You've lost two. Wherever you need to go, whatever meetings for the Camarilla you have, whether you have to leave town, stay in town, I don't know. We'll have to look through your schedule, but I think at least one, if not two of them, should be with you. And how do you feel?
Prince Leslie is a little bit surprised at this request, and looking at Marco and looking like, I know we've been together for a long time, so I feel that I can read Marco pretty well. And he then starts looking around to the hounds, to the group. You know, just not eyeing them down, but you know, looking at each individual. You know, for a good, I don't know, 2 or 3 seconds each, just moving along, and then looks back at the remainder of the coterie, and then back at Marco.
I'm sorry if I've overstepped my bounds, sir.
I trust you, as I always have. If you feel this is what's best, then I'm all for it.
Appreciated. Jackson, you heard it. The coterie will stay with the prince, or what's left of them at least. We've lost two. If you guys, you yourself, Aaron, Echo, Zane and Pip, and I'm not too sure of the last two, but at least one of you with the prince at all times, you can get a personal view of what's going on. Maybe learn a thing or two. How do you feel?
If it can give us a little bit of insight, I can't see why it would hurt.
Good, then it's decided.
And one other thing before we move on. And I turn to both Zane and then to Jackson. Marco and I, we've had a discussion about improving the security back at the Elysium. I want you two to handle it. I'll give you more. I'll give you more specifics later on. But
Of course.
after the events of what has happened, it's time we beef things up a little bit more. Not only just for me, but for the benefit of anyone else and those who come in and out of the Elysium.
Definitely. If you can give us the details, I'll definitely sort it out.
Well,
This was Marco coming to me about this, and for Marco to convince me to change my point of view on this is a big deal.
Indeed.
You understand? This is not a light decision.
You let
So
me know
Jackson
what
and-
level of security you need, and it'll be done.
So Jackson and Zane, the Prince and myself, we reside in Elysium for the most part. So there are areas that we will not want covered, but they are on the most inner parts. That therefore, Prince, probably decides our first two that are staying with you. Jackson and Zane, you'll be the first people on the Prince, leaving the others to question Jenny and Jeremy.
No objection, but does it have to be him? Really? Really, him? Okay, I'll shut up now.
Well, Jackson, you can put your people on it, but Zane, what do you like in a firefight? What happens when someone comes at you and he grabs the crossbow and points it at Zane and says, what happens when someone comes at you with one of these? What are you going to do?
Hang on, let me check my pants.
I thought so. And that brings me to
And
another
it's
topic.
it's at that
We're
point
getting
where
there.
Leslie just pulls out like this big, kind of like it's like a big Bowie kind of knife,
Yeah.
and just looks directly at Zane, and quick as a flash, his hand just goes straight. The knife goes straight through Zane's hand, cutting it right off.
Oh,
That's
Zane.
for your indiscretion, for putting your team at risk.
Nice.
Do not do that again.
Holy crap.
Jackson just raises an eyebrow and takes half a step backwards.
And at the same time, Marco loaded the crossbow with one of the bolts that was stuck to the side of it, still pointed at Zane. And that all happens, Zane. That's a lot of blood on, well, vitae coming from your wound, and you put your hand over it to stop it. Make a hunger check, browse check for me.
Success.
Nice. You've kept the beast down. Would you react any other way?
Yeah, I'll be trying to get my hand and put it back on.
With that, the sheriff releases the bolt and releases the arrows, and he nods at the prince in reverence as how quick that he got across there. And I won't even have to make you roll for it because you are quicker than Zane can roll dice.
At this point, Jackson will walk slowly to the door, open the door, and just say to one of the guys, you want to grab bandages, stuff, a couple of blood bags.
Make sure you hold that hand in the right place, Zane, because you'll need it for your computer work tomorrow.
And remain silent.
Echo, Pip, and Aaron, are you all happy to question Jenny and Jeremy without Jackson and Zane present? There's no issue for you?
No issue. I'll take that syringe from you, Jackson, if we're supposed to question. And
With it, he'll hand Echo a piece of paper. Read this code to the door.
all right.
2 different codes, one for each. Talk to my guys. If it happens more than a day, the codes change daily.
Now, as far as the Hounds Haven is concerned, with Zane giving up that information, I don't know if I'm comfortable with what. Maybe we look for another place for you, or who knew about this haven? Is it just Sarah?
Echo's got an idea.
With all due respect to the Camarilla, I think if we are questioning the inner circle, perhaps the hounds themselves find their own haven until we get more information.
And so just the Hounds will have. I assume you're going to give us the information on where this haven will be.
I'd rather not to begin with. I'd rather keep it between the Hounds for the time being.
You will have direct contact with us at all times, of course, but just to be safe.
For our safety and for yours.
Marco looks at the prince and looks back at Echo.
And I wasn't addressing Marco at that point. I was directly addressing the prince for our safety and yours.
Okay. Prince, you would notice that.
Absolutely.
So what happens? Where is our... How will we say? What's my insurance? If I don't know, or the prince doesn't know where you are, if something goes wrong and we should have to... I don't know. Need to find one of you in a hurry and we can't contact you. What's our insurance that you haven't
You
done
have
something?
contact. The contact won't stop. Just won't know exactly where we are.
Half of us will be with the prince at all times.
And that
Well,
also.
that's true.
And also apparently now we have a Zane network phone, so
Give me a sec. Rumbles
you'll
through
be
back
able to use
with
that.
his one hand. Pulls out another burner phone and starts it up, does a few things. It's now linked to the other phones and slides it over with his one hand.
Who do you slide it to? The sheriff or the prince?
The prince.
The prince acknowledges and just sort of does the head tilt over to Marco. The indicate give him the phone.
And slides it over to Marco.
What type of phone is it, Zane?
Android been broken though. Wayne,
Yeah,
jail.
yeah.
They're broken.
Yeah.
He looks at it and says, all right, so functions like a walkie-talkie between the coterie.
It's
More or less.
a network link. Group text, has photo capabilities. Basic, but functional.
All right, he pockets it. Well,
You trust these guys, Marco, so I think
trust most
with
of
the
them.
work they've done so far, let's show them a little bit more respect and let's see what they can do. However, if this does turn into a shitstorm, it'll be more than his hand. We're trusting you with this. Go out and do what we think and what we know that you guys are capable of doing.
We'll get to the bottom of it sooner or later. Sooner, hopefully.
And then Prince turns to Pip and says, so what did you see with Billy? Tell me. What can you tell me?
There was these brown wooden pew benches and organ music, and it was at the end of last night. So, Prince.
Do you know what on the organ was playing? Could you figure out the song?
I don't know.
You caught about 10 seconds of a song. It's possible if you heard it again, but yeah.
Okay. We do know he's Sabbat. Sabbat are religious. I mean, their head guy's an archbishop.
Makes sense.
They're in South Yarra. So if we're looking for something like that, South Yarra might be a place to narrow down your search.
Prince, just for your knowledge too, you guys all know that they were in Carlton and North Carlton, and that was the only sighting of Sabbat. The Prince is now mentioning it South Yarra too, which is news to the rest of you.
I thought they were only in Carlton.
That's what we believed. Zane, that footage on the thumb drive, where was that?
It was all over the place.
That was City of Gaaru, Zane.
Yeah, there.
We the thumb drive with footage.
Had thumb drive.
Yeah. You saw it. You can remember. It's good. Billy and Jenny. Target practice on Thin Bloods and Kindred in Yara. Using large caliber weapons. Similar to what we found at Billy's place.
Yeah, we never got to actually see that footage,
No.
did we?
Heard about it, though, constantly.
Someone kicked the TV in.
And you were lucky it wasn't your face.
We're
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
school children here. There's no need for this back and forth. Someone made a fuck up. Solve it.
So they're expanding. So
This is what the Sabbat do.
And if the Gaaru are involved, maybe they sense unrest between the factions.
They
Opportunities.
see an opportunity to throw a spanner in the works.
Misdirection.
So
This is what they do.
do we?
They want to rule the mortals.
Do we know how strong the Gaaru are in the parks? How many numbers?
No idea.
And that's the exact right answer, Jackson. No one really knows.
would they have been at the park we were at last night?
They very well could be.
Could have been the shooters.
The parks, anything like that, generally tend to be where they like to call home. They are terrorists of sorts. So what they did at the Elysium is exactly a typical MO of what they would do. The fact that it was a single assailant against us, that's a worry.
Or it wasn't planned. Very
For
well.
him to for that assailant to know the exact moment that card was coming out, there's no way that was random. I'm sorry.
Maybe the Sabbat are feeding them information somehow. Who
It's
knows?
possible with the old system.
I don't see that as being in their best interest.
It's possible with our old surveillance system that someone's tapped that. Zane, is it possible?
Likely, yes.
I would say more than likely.
Yeah, so that's
It's
a good
pretty,
reason.
It's a pretty old system.
It's a good reason to scrap it and re-kick.
I mean, with
Yeah, there's
a newer camera system at the very least, we would have definitely gotten more. I mean, we got enough. We've gotten a lot more.
that is why Marco came to me with the suggestion of you guys beefing everything up.
I got some
Now there
ideas.
is one good. Now there is one other matter we haven't touched on, and that's Mary Wade.
Well, again, Pip has seen Mary.
Marco looks
Become
at
a
Pip
very useful young Pip.
exactly what Marco basically says the same thing as the prince at the same time. They almost like they've stayed together many years.
Again,
This
what
is
can you
where-
tell us?
This is where we think SI is definitely involved. Pip, if you could elaborate.
She's restrained in a white cell, and they're torturing her for information. They're humans, definitely. SI. I can't tell where though.
Okay.
And Zane did find correlation linkages to ASIS as well. His investigations of the footage from the team.
The prince walks away back to the chair behind the desk. And he just sits there and thinks for a moment. With Mary being who she is, would there be any chance of my blood in her system?
It's entirely possible. It depends on what you think the prince would have done with Justicars and Archons. Would he have liked to have bound them, or would he let them be their own people?
Well, my understanding is Justicars are above.
Correct, that's my understanding as well, yep.
So I'm going on the premise of past dealings that may have been done with the Justicars, whether, knowing what I know about Mary Wade, whether there would have been any chance that my blood would be in her system.
At this point, I would say no.
Okay.
But yes, knowing what you know, it's possible she's got other blood.
Alright. So, what I'm going to try then, I'm going to try share the senses, and I'm going to focus on Mary.
Oh, okay.
By this time, my guys probably would return with the bandages, some pieces, and a couple of bags of blood for Zane to initiate healing.
Sweet.
If he wishes.
They come through and
Jackson,
bring you guys.
They'd hand it to me through the door. I'd walk over and look at him, give him the look as, see, I was lenient kind of look, and hand him the blood packs and the bandages.
Yeah. Share the senses, Leslie, I'm just reading that now. So you sharing with who in particular?
I want to tap into Mary to see what she sees, hear what she sees.
Okay.
So we can try and figure out possibly where, help pinpoint more accurately where she is.
Okay.
So there might be, if she's being transported anywhere, that we might be able to see signs, we might see badges on the people that she's talking to, anything of that nature.
Can you make a rouse check to activate share the senses?
The beast gets hungrier.
All right. What does that put your hunger at, Prince?
2.
2. The hunger of the beast rolls within you. You can feel that urge within you. You're upset about being shot at. You're upset about the firebomb. You're more upset that you don't know what's going on. And for the first time, probably in a long time, in the entirety of your time being the prince, there's that sense of unknown. You're usually in control. And what this does is sharing the senses is now, it almost feels like, man, you've diablerized Kindred, and you feel like you could do that again when you find out who's done this to Mary. And as you reach out, resolve and or specs for me.
Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. That is good. Your mind fades to, you're thinking about Mary Wade and what she does and who she is, thinking about the blood that flows through her, the vitae that flows through her. You get through her eyes, it's a white room, similar to what Pip just explained. There's nothing in the room bar a white table with grey legs on it. You're looking directly at her eyes. She's looking down, mostly at the floor. You can see the legs, the feet of a person in a black suit. but she can't lift her head up. You can feel the weakness within her, and you can see a shaft of light on her arm as she's chained with her arms outward, and the shaft of light is burning, and you feel that burning within you. It's not enough to trigger anything else. You're sharing senses, but you know she's in pain. And
There'll be a visible wince on the prince's face because I'm feeling what she's feeling.
The person in the suit walks forward, and you can just about see his face now to his neck. She lifts her head up. He holds something forward, a hand mirror. It's got a beautiful, almost copper look to it, large hand mirror, and he's holding it in such a way you just cannot see his face. And you can see her face looking back at herself in the mirror, a little distorted in the mirror, but it's definitely her. You're looking through her eyes, and what you see is her face. And she's an older woman, you know this. She looks to be roughly 80s. And she looks at the mirror, smiles, and you hear yourself, her voice, and she says, "I will give you nothing." And with that, the person in front turns around, slams the mirror down on the table, and it cracks across the screen of the mirror, the front face of the mirror, and he walks out of the room. You see a door open and close as his feet exit. You get the feeling Mary is smiling now as you exit, sharing senses.
And as I come to, it's kind of like, that's why she's a Justica. Well, unfortunately, I've got no more knowledge than what Pip has been able already provided.
Unfortunately, no.
But if the SIS have got it, they've got to... They're using sunlight to torture her. Therefore, there's got to be buildings around. We don't even know whether she's here, but if there's any chance where there's building modifications to allow sunlight in, it's a stretch.
You can get Zane on it, looking for blueprints, recent modifications to a building.
It's a stretch, but that's all we've got, and it's a start.
Something.
With that, Zane gets out his laptop and starts looking for modified buildings.
Okay, Zane looking for modified buildings.
Probably needle in a haystack type stuff, but better than nothing.
No worries.
While he's chugging down on a bag of vitae.
At the same time, if it's the government that have got her, it's not going to be in public records.
No.
Zane can,
dig a
little deeper than public records, I reckon.
I wasn't going public records.
Just make sure you cover your tracks, because last place you want to lead them is straight back
And
here.
what Zane would find out too is that he would get no Wi-Fi here. Doesn't have a password for one. Two, there is none at lower levels.
Okay.
Why don't we leave this when we get back to Elysium?
Yes, good call. We're about, and Marco looks at his watch. We've got 2 hours of the night down. So, Jackson, Zane, we should grab whatever you need and head over to Elysium now. Get started on what we're going to do there.
Before we head out, what other security do you have, manpower-wise, at Elysium? Short? Oh.
I have 24 other people at Elysium but they should make shifts, so 12 versus 12. We have ghouls for the daytime and kindred for the night.
I've got don't mind, I would like to add at least a couple to that.
Okay.
One's my number 2, Joe. Why? Cool. Be trusted. And a kindred by name of Eric. My 2 most trusted.
That's fair, Prince. Do you think that's fair?
Agreed.
They've got good and good knowledge of security system and the stuff that we want to, or I'm looking at implement. That's it.
While Zane's trying to work out why he's not getting any network, looks up and asks politely the prince, "How do you feel about tattoos?"
What?
It gives him a bit of a inquisitive look, and
Considering, I mean, Jackson's standing there covered in tattoos, by the way.
you know our current bodies will reject them, right?
Okay, back to it.
Please forgive
Yeah.
Zane.
Yeah, it takes a little bit to get used to, and I'm still getting it.
John is a lot like Zane, so I understand.
I've not had many long-term dealings with Malcavs. Funnily enough, Pip, I really
While
like.
they have their
but-
own intricacies,
Yeah. You could say that.
they are very resourceful, and when the time comes, a lot of my decisions came through John. He was someone that I would listen to a lot.
I
Listen to
believe-
the Malcavs, as annoying as
Yeah,
they may
I believe
be.
Pip will be very, very valuable. Zane too, in his own way.
And I look at Aaron and I go, I know you don't see me as anything but an authority figure. But what I understand is you're doing really good work. You helped get Jenny. That I respect. You didn't have to. You could have left the guys to do whatever the hell they wanted to do, because you know, at the end of the day, these guys, if they did anything wrong, well, I mean, you just saw what happened to his hand. You don't have to do any of this.
Raise my stump up.
The fact that you are continuing to help. My question is, what do you want out of all of this? What's in it for you?
I mean it for the money.
Just
And-
the money?
Wow. Contacts are always good to have as well, I guess.
Pip, where are you while all this is going on?
Pip's up against one of the walls, and you can sort of see him like tensing and flexing and muttering to himself. He's not in a good way. He's sort of like stressed about everything that's going on. He's trying to keep a low profile. I'm hoping that they won't call on him again.
When the prince did what he did, and it was much more controlled than what anything you've ever done before, and it was surprising to you the way he sort of sat, concentrated. He just sat at the desk, and then he came out of it and carried on talking, and it's something that you wish to get to in yourself, and you're thinking about what the prince did in Mary Wade. And with the almighty scream in your ears, you find yourself drawn to that white room. You are looking at Mary, not at her eyes. There is the mirror on the table that the person in the suit that the Prince Taylor described left there. Mary's eyes are glowing, as they do when a vampire, a kindred, is extremely hungry. She is pulled tight on the chains that bind her, and you can see her wrist starting to trickle blood. She pulls forth on the chains, and you can see the walls straining under pressure, and she's able to get close enough to that mirror to dribble a bit more blood onto the mirror. Just a bit. And then you see her grin. As one foot pulls from the wall, the chain, and she kicks the leg of the table. The mirror smashes on the ground with her blood on it. She turns into almost a spectral form, and that is where we're going to end as you come out of your sudden vision. And that is it for tonight, everybody. Thank you.
Nice, guys. Wow.
We will. We pulled a bit longer. Not only do we have a public holiday tomorrow in New Zealand, but it was interesting. I don't want to stop.
Nice. Yeah, I'd kind of figure with public holiday. Yeah, we'll go for an extra half hour. We probably could have gone for another half hour if you really wanted to.
I did definitely need to pull out early. But yes, awesome, guys. Well played. So we will rock around the clock. One moment from everyone, or two. We'll try and keep it brief, give everyone a chance. Start with Echo tonight.
Ooh, so I get to say that I like how the prince, sorry, Trashy, cut off Zane's hand. I feel like he deserved more for his insolence, but that was really cool. So that level of suspense is my favorite part.
Yeah, well done, Magic. That was a very cool part of the night. Pip.
Highly what I expected from the prince. I expected a little more, but
Echo's feeding the way she does that with the fangirl and and it got around and said, "Oh yeah, I'll put you in the forward," and then at the end with the thing, it's like, "Oh, you'll be in the acknowledgements. It'll be fine." That's good stuff.
So good.
definitely.
Very good. Magic. Prince Taylor.
Speaking of insolence, just the way Zane just has a complete disregard for Jackson's authority. The moment that he left, he was out of that safe house quick as a flash. So it's typical Malcav persona, play to a T. So well done.
Yeah, love it.
Definitely.
Aaron. Sadiq.
I enjoyed how Pip is having moments of clarity that is helping the investigation. But at the same time, he has no idea what the hell's going on.
Yep, and he's playing it well.
Yeah.
And he's playing it really well. By, this is... But then there's... And then... What? Good job. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I enjoy everyone's character. It's so good. Jackson.
I think it was a culmination of all those events, really. I mean, just to sort of address every character at once. Everyone had their moments tonight. Echo with the feeding, Zane with his entire being. I mean, outbursts during the prince's chat and piping in whenever he feels like he's got something to say, which is exactly what a Malcav would do in that situation, regardless of whether you've got the Prince of Melbourne standing right there being all serious and just coming up with the weirdest comments out there. But yeah, my top moment would have to be the removal of Zane's hand, 100%. I expected something to happen. I didn't really expect that. I actually expected more likely the Prince to actually have a go at Jackson, being sort of the inadvertent leader of the group, somewhat. I mean, obviously the Prince and Marco kind of see Jackson as somewhat leader of this group, whether Jackson wants it or not, kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
I
Well,
kind of
with that, it's because you are standing up for yourself, and you're putting your case forward as to, well, this is why it was done.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you were questioned hard about why he was let
100%.
go, and you've gone, this is why, and because of that result, we've got these extra leads. Whereas we may not have gotten them if we only just had the interrogation.
Yeah, and Jackson definitely puts that out. That was a group effort. It wasn't something he did. It was something that Echo come up with, and he put it out there, basically saying, "Okay, we did this. If you're going to punish someone, punish me."
And yeah, of course, from night one, he was running security in that too. So, and Zane.
So. I wasn't expecting any retribution, but I loved it. That was awesome. And yeah, the Echo's friend.
Yeah. Nice word.
Yeah, if she swung that way, you might have got more than you bargained for.
Oh, and also, thanks, Mina, for those clips too.
Yes, Mina got some very interesting clips. They will eventually make it into Discord. I will get onto that probably tomorrow. So if you have missed them, you can't get them, they'll be up in the Discord tomorrow. So.
Forgot about Shrek.
Oh, yes,
Shrek,
in the Shrek moment. Well, at the moment he said onions, the only thing I could think of was Shrek. So
that was one I had written down. Jason, Aaron, you've been watching Shrek. I also liked Pip's comment on guns. Does it come with a book? That was a good one. And Echo's texts from the safe house that were jammed. Like I'm texting people, I'm thinking, no, you're not.
Well, I was going to reply to it, and then realize, oh crap, okay. And now we know why she doesn't like cell phones. No one ever replies.
And the moment that people started mentioning Billy Zane's hands over his ears, I thought that was actually really well done. So no, another good part of the night, another good beginning to a night. Next game, Evil.
Yep.
If we can start with the questioning with the likes of Echo, Pip, and Aaron in the safe house, and with Jackson and the Prince will be the following Sunday. Jackson, Zane, and the Prince.
So Tracy,
we'll have a
you
split
and
couple
myself,
of hours.
You, myself, and obviously Magic, not be needed next week, so we can hang out and just.
Yep, it's possible we might split the night in half and go half and half. We just see how we go. So if everyone can be around,
I reckon you try and stretch it out for the full 2 hours.
Stretch it for the full.
I think you guys should be able to manage that. Even if it's not just interrogation, other things as well. I mean, go for the full 2 hours. I think it'll make it more interesting.
Good as gold. And then the following week we'll do the other 3. So.
What I'll probably look at doing, we'll get you guys into Skype early, and I'll probably just rearrange the cameras so you're all. This is only going to be the 3 of you.
Sweet.
4 of you. I'll just arrange the cameras slightly different.
Good as gold. And obviously, any texts that go out during that episode can be answered in the following episode or what have you.
Yeah. We'll just
or on the Skype at the night if it's urgent or something. But
we can reply to it in text form.
Correct.
Through Skype. I'll definitely I'll be here running obviously the Skype call and OBS.
Yeah, good as gold.
So if there are any texts sent out to those specific characters, we can just answer them in text format via the Skype call or even in the chat.
Excellent. Well done again, everybody. Nice game.
Yes, so thank you everyone for hanging out with us again tonight. Mina, everyone else, Lucia, welcome. You have come in right at the very end, unfortunately, but welcome along. My name was Evldoa, and I'm from New Zealand. Most of these guys are Kiwis and Aussies. We are doing a Vampire Masquerade every Sunday night, starting about 8 p.m. New Zealand Standard Time, about 6 p.m. Australian. And this was episode 6. You can catch all the previous episodes
What do you mean?
on
Shh?
YouTube.
I just gotta make a comment on Lucia.
So, we will definitely see you guys on Wednesday night for Curse of Strahd back here. And then Thursday, Friday, we're hopefully doing some Foundry map stuff. Hopefully. We'll see how we go. And then, of course, back here on Sunday for some more vampire-y stuff. We should definitely raid. Who are we going to raid tonight, guys? Anyone got any suggestions? Hit me up in the chat. I'll see who I've got on. Got Aussie DevFro is on tonight. Isn't Aussie DevFro and that doing something with Pesh at some point soon? I think it was Dreaded Gem, Aussie DevFro, and another one doing.
Oh yeah.
I think sometime this week or next week.
Pesh was in channel earlier.
Yeah, he was here earlier. I'd give him a shout out. So we'll raid Aussie DevFro. They've been running for just over an hour. They will be doing some Dungeons and Dragons. They normally do. So guys, go check them out. Hit them up with a follow if you haven't already. Share the love of the tabletop RPGs, whether it's Vampire the Masquerade or D&D 5e or any other edition, Pathfinder. It's all role play and it's all fun. Make sure you go check these guys out. And we'll see you back here on Wednesday. Are you streaming tomorrow, Auntie?
Yeah, probably.
There you go. You want to see someone do stuff? Go see Yanti tomorrow. I think most of you are already following. Yanti, shout yourself out. You got the power. So I don't think Drax is still here.
Power.
So chuck your link in the chat before we finish up. Make sure people know where to find you. And so go hang out over with Yanti tomorrow night. Not sure what she's going to do. Oh, Drax is still here. Look at that. All right, guys. We'll catch you next time. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.